Good morning. Oh, Monday, no, Sunday. Mother's Day morning mobility. Yep. I woke up to do a bunch of mobility and I figured I would share it with you. So I'm going to go through what I usually do with distractions and all of pups, but thought I would take you through a little bit of what I do. If I'm stiff and need some time. Now, I already do a lot in the bed before I even get up. So that's me. I'm not sure what's going to start with all these pups, but we'll see. And see if my one that's hogging and splooting. Can you see that? There's dog mobility right there. That's pretty cute on the yoga mat. You like to sploot, don't you? You're pretty cute. Oh, yep. Thanks. Can I have some space? That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Move. Oh, shoot. Okay. Okay. Stop. Okay. Hope you can't hear him too much. Anywho, my trouble spot is my right hip. My right hip's been funky for a while. Uh, all sorts of theories on why, but it's the majority of the reason why I go through some mobility stuff in bed. Because then if I don't keep on top of it, then it goes into my lower back. So that's my usual on the back stuff, and then I'll move into hip work other than that. So let me give you a little hey. Oh, lots of people. Hey, buddy. So kind of a shin box is what we're gonna call that, or 90-90. Lots of people call it different things. Pretzel is what it's called in bar class. This one's a good one that I like a lot for hips. I often need a block underneath this hip, so it helps me get some sort of a contact point in there. And then just trying to get 90 degrees with both legs, and then you just start to work on different lifts without cramping. Knees, ankle, oof. And then even the front one. Try to lift it up. Good morning, child Peyton. You can get yourself some breakfast. I know, not yet. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate your love. No, we have a whole nother one too. Peyton, will you get out of the way? Morning distractions. So I really just go through anything that's gonna feel good. Try to get my way back up to upright, which is difficult. So I'll use a lot of props to try to get myself up this way. And then just whatever's gonna keep me moving. Hey, buddy. Well, man. Oh. Yeah, a house family of 5, it's never quiet. This is how we roll. 3 dogs. Bearded dragon, which I haven't seen yet this morning. We usually take her out. Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's a good handle, but it makes my hip cramp right here. Okay, that helps a little bit to get a little higher. Or You can pick whichever hip that it feels best under. But really, I just go around fidgeting until I find something that feels good. So that's what you can do too. See, this one is way better. Let's see, 90. Nice of camera to do that. How's the front lawn, babe? Good. Almost done. So on this side, this twist and reach really feels good. Oh, huevos. Egg breakfast's coming up. Look at me trying to be straight. No. So on this one, I can still put it here. So my left sit bone, right, the bony part that you sit on, can get contact into that block. And then it just helps create more of a flexion and the mobility of activating both directions of the hip. Because remember that the hip is a three-dimensional joint. It's a ball and socket, and it's meant to move around in that whole range. So actively going through it is what's really important, not just passively stretching it, all right? Doing both. And then definitely go back and do your first sides again, because the second time should feel way better. Super. Just gonna make sure my comments are on so I can see on chatting. Thank you. Feel free to chime in if you have any comments. And if you're watching the recording of this, comment anyway, and then I can answer the questions. Yeah, a little better. Second side. Oof, still tight, but look. Oh, I can grab that shin bone without cramping. That's a win right there. Oh, again, that just feels good to stretch. Oh. All right, hip stuff. So an active way to switch back and forth is to roll this way and then turn back and forth. Well, that's rude when I'm on camera, but another position that for me has been difficult since all my hip stuff is being forward here in this kind of knee turned out, toe turned out position, right? And trying to reach this way. I can get my toes. If you can't get your toes, get your shins, get your thighs behind. Do whatever needs to happen. And get love from the dog. Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Mwah. Morning. You gotta have dogs that come and say hi if you're on the floor, because that's just what they do. Oh, your breath is bad. How old are you now? Here is our. You are 11. Okay, this is Coquito. He's our Puerto Rican Sato. We found him on the beach in Puerto Rico, Mar Chiquita Beach. And we brought him home when we had 2 other dogs. Now he's the oldest. He's 11 and the calmest, greatest pup that he doesn't bark much at all. But when he does, it's like a super bark. Yeah. It's a super bark. What was that movie? Bolt. He's got a super bark for sure. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So then after that one, thighs to chest kind of motion, then hamstrings. Hi, would you mind moving over here, please? Over here, please. Over here, please. Don't lay down. hamstrings. I'll go behind you, but then, oh, you guys can figure it out. Plats. There we go. Right? So it completely blocks me. Just use them. Just use them, right? My knees are a little bit bent. You can't see them, right? It's maybe a fist, not quite hands underneath. Hi, yeah, that's so nice. Oh. I think it's when I start yoga breathing that he gets most relaxed. That's so nice of you to join me. Yep. Oh, goodness me. And one of the things that I also try to go into that I didn't even realize how poor my knee rotation is. You're like, wait a minute, knees don't rotate. Yeah, well, Mr. Joe Lavaca, Strength and Motion Physical Therapy is his channel. Introduced me to how bad my tibial rotation is. You really should have some rotation in your tibia. So if you can see it from my foot, that kind of gauges it. Turning out, I do okay. Turning in, it's like, wah, wah. It doesn't even, I'm just laughing. It's a good way to prop it up here and then work on your rotation. At least it goes. When he first showed me this, I think I was a demo in his blades class for FMT blades, and it wasn't going anywhere, but it's still. So the idea is that it's supposed to rotate a little bit here and rotate out, right? Your tibia and your fibia can rotate a little bit. The knee is mostly a hinge joint, okay? Just like a door opening and closing, but you want a little bit of this. So my internal is pretty tight on this side. So I try to do that every so often. All right, I'll just go around you. And the same thing on this side. So external. Well, my internal is kind of sucky on this side too this morning. So that happens. Oh, you just keep actively working on it. And you can turn out, straighten, in, and down. I can't even see my in. Oh, so there's lots of ways that you can go around. Now, Joe and other people, they have all sorts of fun ways for the Functional Range Academy. Go search them up. They have lots of these. I did not take the class. I just like to enjoy it. Kinstretch classes are awesome if you can ever find those somewhere. Same kind of thing that we're doing. I just randomly go about whatever starts feeling good in the mornings and then see who joins me for my mobility, right? So going through all of those, mostly my hips, but also been on my computer a lot, so I'm going to roll on my thoracic spine a bit. You're kind of in the way, buddy. Thank you. Oh, this one is my favorite. Oh, oh yes. Now, if you don't have one of these rollers, you can have a traditional white foam roller. Don't roll your hair. And do the same thing, but oh, this is the part. Oh. So the motion is where you get mobility, right? Just bending over it gets you the flexibility, but being able to actively go in and out of it is your mobility. So I'll do a couple of different things this morning. The hip one feels like that's what needs it most. Oof. And then you just kind of change an inch on the back bends and the hip. Hey, Raina. Rain is another pup that's more camera shy because she usually gets her legs eaten by the Roddy. So she's always on alert. Oh, yes. That's a big one. So, being that these feel really tight, that's when I'm going to switch. Around, just follow the tightness. And then front of hips, right? So, now this one's, if you want both at the same time, a longer roller is nice to have, or one at a time. You can just go into the front of the hip and then add the mobility that I'll add is the leg curl. Oh, moans and groans on the camera are always good, right? But getting into the front of the hip flexors and then adding this. Oh, geez. Tight, tight. And then switch. So if you sit a lot, these are going to be tighter on you, right? Because that's where it's shortened. Ooh, yeah. So the leg curl on this side really feels it into the front of my leg I'm rolling on. So anytime you're on the roller, don't just annihilate the muscles that you're rolling on. Actually try to figure out a way to add motion into whatever you're doing. And then that helps with the function of it all. So you don't just annihilate the muscles. So like, see everybody just completely ridiculously annihilating your IT band all the time on this. It's something that you can try to add motion in the leg curl part of it, because this one especially is really stiff. The roller is stiff, so IT band rolling on this sucker is, I think, just plain torture. Oh. So that gets my hips a little bit more. Calves, right? Down dog's one of the best multitasking. If you can't get your feet down with your hands on the floor, then just put your hands up higher on a bench like that behind you or anything like that. And then getting into the feet, right? So try to spread your toes. See how much you can see from that. Yeah, so you try to spread your toes all the way under, keep your toes straight. And once you tuck them under, try to sit on them. And that will definitely change your foot flexibility because you can't quite see it. Try to tone it down a little bit. Like this. See? So you're getting a toe break in your toes. It's really important to be flexible on your toes, okay? So I go through hips, shoulders, low back, and then a bit of spinal twisting. And then I'm more ready to face my day. But that's essentially a little quickie on what I do for my morning mobility. And it just so happens to be Mother's Day, so everybody stayed quiet for me. Ish, sort of. Hope you have a good one. Comment below if you have any questions, and I'm happy to answer it. I'm going to try to do these more regularly, one throughout the week and one on the weekend. All right, so come join me on the next one.